Hey guys, Luke here, and at the start of the season, I went through my Supercoach team for 2019. Now, a lot of the time, I start off at the start of the year, and I make a team, and I go, yeah, that's pretty decent, but I never go on with it. Around Origin time, I sort of have a look at it, and people have buys, and there's injuries, and I go, nah, too hard, can't be bothered. This year was the same, except I've actually continued. Now, State of Origin period really did hurt me. I didn't really plan ahead. Now, if you're really serious about Supercoach, you want to, make sure you have players who aren't playing Origin or aren't going to be missing through buys and all that sort of stuff. You plan ahead. I didn't do that, but I've picked right up from where I left off. Before Origin, I was doing pretty well. After Origin, I'm doing pretty well now. I've actually got the thing loaded up now. I've got it on the app. I'm on the phone, as you can see. I'll take you through my lineup going into, what round are we up to now? Round 19. Jeez, that's a long way into the season. I should be a lot further ahead than what I am, but like I said, Origin really took its toll. But take a look at some of the leagues that you guys are in. You can see I'm second in this one at the moment. That's Public League. Actually, that was just some random one. Where am I here? Fairway down, as you can see there. Am I in the 8? 1, 2, oh, it's right there. No, I'm just outside the 8. So look at total points, but because I don't really care about head-to-head. Where are we total points-wise? We're fairway down. Not doing too well in that one. Let's have a look. League 2, where are we there? I started off pretty well. I remember that much. In terms of the ladder and stuff. Where am I? Number 11. You guys absolutely kill me at the moment. And then for this one, number 12. So there you go. But for a good part of this, I was looking at my slide and just trying to bank up some cash to have a big run at the end. Except I do that every year, like I said, and then Origin comes and I don't bother with it. And then I'm left with all these cash cows that I haven't really profited off. Where this time I've actually kind of gone in and spent it. So at one point I had $1 million in the bank. Now I'm up to 150,000 in the bank, I think. Let's have a look at round 18. We got 1,400 and something points, I think. If it wants to load. There we go. 1,425, which I thought was pretty darn good. See, they had Payne Haas as the captain. He's such a cheapie. Nakora was such a good pickup at the start. Had him from the start. Had Johnson, I think, from the start, got rid of him, and I've brought him back. Latrell Mitchell, I had him briefly, and then I've just brought him back now. Nicole Klodstad was a good pickup from the start. Garrick, I can't remember if I had him from the start, but I picked him up fairly early when he was, the bargain, like, stat, the base value. Any other players? Lachlan Burr had him from the start. Dylan Brand had him from the start. Never got rid of him, actually. Surprisingly, I get rid of everyone else if they're out injured. Tyler was someone who brought in pretty early on. He's doing decent for me. But let's actually go through our side. I've made a few changes this week as well. I mean, Tambalala got injured throughout the season. I had Sam Burgess in. I finally got rid of him. I had Reid Marnie for a long time. I only just replaced him with Damien Cook a few weeks ago. But yeah, let's go through our side. So we'll start off with James Tedesco at fullback. Pretty decent. Drinkwater as the backup. Obviously, Drinkwater, I've only just brought him in recently. You can see 258,000. Pretty good price for what he offers. At the Storm, didn't get a run. Moved to the Cowboys. Decent. Another cash cow for us. But yeah, Tedesco. Either him or Ponga. I think you got to have either one of those two at fullback. Maybe two of us to check as well. There are your three options for fullback. Otherwise, I don't really know what you're doing with yourself. Wings and centers I find really hard because it all comes down to, whether they score a try or whatever. There's no one who's consistently, it's not like a forward who can consistently get like 80 points. A lot of the times they get around 60 or whatever. You can see Ruben Garrick here got 114 last week. I think he scored 2 or 3 tries, but he's averaging about 50. Ockenbar was actually going pretty well without scoring tries and that, but Latrell Mitchell being in great form. Nicole Klodstad fairly consistent, and that Tui, I don't know how to pronounce it, the Brian Tui, the Panthers guy, very, very good. I was so close to bringing in Naden. I've got Ferguson here, who would be in the side normally, but obviously injured for a few weeks. Don't know whether to get rid of him, but I mean, he's a pretty good price, and I think once he comes back from Origin, he's fully fit. I think he'll be great for me. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, for 5'8", I have brought in a new person. Now, I had Sean O'Sullivan as a reserve. I took him out and I've put Luke Keary in because I think Luke Keary is pretty cheap for his, for what he offers. I feel like his value was down a lot because he had been getting injured. Like he'd get midway through a game and then get knocked out. So instead of getting an 80 or something, he was getting like a 30 because he was only playing like 30 minutes. So I think he's underpriced, and he got a 96 last week. So I think he's in some pretty good form. His 3 to 5 week average was pretty good as well. That's what I tend to use the averages for. Look at their sort of immediate form and sort of base it off that. Dylan Brown actually pretty good as well. But Jerome Hughes was someone who I had in the side. Jerome Hughes I think is a good pickup, pretty good price there. I think I brought him in for Michael Morgan. I started off with Michael Morgan at the start of the year, as you would have seen. But he just wasn't cutting it and he was getting injured. So I needed to bring in someone. I went with Jerome Hughes because he was a fairly consistent performer. And then I've got Sean Johnson as well. I had him at 5'8", but I've kind of swapped them over because Dylan Brown can play and Sean Johnson can both play 5'8", or halfback. You can see here, I can move Dylan Brown into the halfback position as well. We're not going to do that, obviously, but it's just a good option to have. But yeah, Jerome Hughes, Sean Johnson, I think I can go with either one of them depending on who's playing who. I thought the Sharks have a better chance. They're playing the Cowboys. I think Sean Johnson's got a better chance of scoring more points than what Jerome Hughes has. Storm are playing Manly. I think it'll be a tough game. No, don't think he'll be getting 115 this week. Moving on to the forwards, I think we have a really strong forward pack. I feel like at times it was stronger, but just injuries and that. But Jason Tamalalo is the star there. Cameron Murray, I've had him from the start. Great pickup. Saw the signs early with him in the trials. And then we got Jake Trbojevic. Actually been a little bit lackluster as of late, but I think he'll pick it back up as they get closer to the finals. Kenny Bromwich has been sort of a late inclusion. Only just sort of brought him in. Britton Nakora, been very good, had him from the start. I think a lot of people had. He's just outstanding. Was on track to be Rookie of the Year before Payne Haas came along. And then I've brought in Shane Wright this week. I got rid of Lachlan Burr. I think Lachlan Burr's kind of maxed out his value. I think actually he's gone down a little bit. I think he's in the 400s. But he didn't play for a few weeks, and now he finds himself on the bench, I think. And Shane Wright has been starting for Cowboys, so I've brought him in. Moving on to the front row, we have Payne Haas and Marty Tapau. Now, this is where I think I had Sam Burgess in the front row. I can't remember exactly. I've had a few different front rowers, but Payne Haas and Martin Tapau, like, it's not the most fantastic front row. Payne Haas definitely is. Martin Tapau been a little bit lackluster since I brought him in. I mean, I've only had these guys in for a few weeks, but Dale Finucane, I had him in as well. Total has been pretty good as of late, but yeah, it would have been nice if I had Sam Burgess in there, but just wasn't meant to be. Maybe Feeder or someone as well, but I mean, he's injured. But yeah, I don't know who else I could have in the front row. But moving on to the hookers, this is where I've excelled here. Cameron Smith, 628,000. He's way more than Damien Cook. I'm not sure how that exactly works. Cook's got a better average. I don't know how the price works for that. But nonetheless, Damien Cook on the bench, very good option. Cameron Smith, excellent option. He played all through Oregon as well, so he was kind of saving me with some of my scores from getting like 200 points. Instead, I was getting like 300 or 400. But yeah, what a player Cameron Smith is. Still going around, still killing it. He'll get you a consistent amount. Once again, he's one of those ones who doesn't rely on making line breaks or scoring the try or whatever. So you don't have to worry about him. He just tackles all day. He's a good player, Cameron Smith. And I think I picked him up pretty cheap going into the season. So good pickup there. Damien Cook, I brought him in, like I said, for Reed Marnie a few weeks ago. I might be able to actually show you some of the teams that I've fielded over the last few weeks. You can kind of see where I started to make the changes. So if we go back to round 15, let's go to round 15. Don't know if that was an origin week. We better see our team. So I got 1,000 that week. You can see fairly similar, but I had Jesse Arthur's in there. Just recently got rid of him. I mean, things are pretty similar there. In fact, that's pretty much the same side, round 15. If we go a little bit further back, let's go round 12. Let's go round 12. I feel like this is when I started making the changes, because I started making some changes when Origin actually happened. Just brought in a few, but obviously you can only make a few at a time, so I didn't really prepare. So here we go. So you can see I had Totola playing, Sam Burgess in the side, Adam Reynolds, off of Hickey Ogden, Jordan Cahill was in the side for quite a while. Anyone else there? You can see Michael Morgan didn't play, but he was in there. Dearden, I mean, I've gone through pretty much all the bloody Broncos halves, except for Turpin at the moment, but I don't even think he's listed as a half. But you can see Lomax, Burr. He's playing Lomax. I brought him in once he got named at fullback that time, and I think he played 2 more weeks, and then he's been injured ever since. So, bit of a dud there, but that's my side. If we go back even further, what about round... Let's go round 8. Let's go round 8. We should have a look just for just because it'd be funny have a look at our round 1 side and see who I had. But is there any more changes here? Round 8, you can see I had Andrew Fafita at one stage, Mitch Orbison, Harris DeVita was good for a few weeks when he actually played. Garner was decent, Brett Morris, Ravalawa, probably should have kept Ravalawa in fairness. Don't know what he's actually worth now, can I find out? 385,000, okay, maybe not. Maybe I made the right move there. I dropped him once he started getting put on the bench. But let's go all the way back to round 1. Let's take a look at our side and see who's still there. Who's still there from right from the start. So Cameron Smith's there still. Sean Johnson left, but he's back. Cameron Murray I had. Latrell Mitchell was there for a few weeks, and he started off pretty poorly. You see 44 there. And then I brought him back in as of late. Tedesco still in the side. Lachlan Burr only got rid of this week. Dylan Napa lasted until he got injured. Jake Trebojevic still in the side. Jason Tabalalo still in the side. Anyone else? Nakora still in the side. Totola still in the side. Ruben Garrick in the side. Dylan Brown. Nicole Klodstad. So a few good ones. If you have a look at round 2, like the first few rounds, I was really paying attention to who all the cheapies were. So is there anyone that I brought in here straight away? Looking at the side, doesn't look like it for round 2. Host in there. I don't know if I had him in for round 1. I can't remember. Round 3. This would have been the time where I was looking for some more cheapies for they went up in price, because I think it was the first 3 rounds. You can see Garner was in there at that point. Oh, Braden Burns brought him in. He literally got injured that game and he was gone for like ages. Only just come back now. So he was out for quite a while there. But yeah, no, it was a pretty good run I had. Is my side fantastic? By no means is it fantastic, but I mean, it's half decent. You can see in our leagues, in the leagues that you guys are in, he's absolutely crushing me, but I suppose you're just better, pay more attention to it. I usually do it about 5 minutes before the game and I go, who should I put in? But yeah, same goes for tipping. I don't even do the tipping every week. But yeah, leave in the comment section below, how are you going in your fantasy team? How's your Supercoach looking? Who were some star buys that you've bought? Any duds, any bargains? Let me know in the comment section. I could use a few tips. A few? Maybe 10 tips. Maybe 15. Maybe 20. You know what? Just leave as many tips as you want. Anyway, guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Just a little bit of an update considering it's been 19 rounds. So I thought I'd let you know how I'm going with Supercoach, and maybe you could have seen a few bargains there. Probably not. Seeing I'm pretty tragic at this, but yeah, that's where I'm going to leave the video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you did happen to enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's on the screen right now. It's MrLuke on YT. Same as my Snapchat as well. It's MrLuke on YT. Go ahead and add me on that as well. Also, give my Facebook page a like as well. I've been posting on that a little bit more. If I post on there, I usually post on there more than Twitter these days. So go and give me a like on Facebook. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.